Okay, so yeah, I have to record this. So we're gonna like go back to the beginning of our conversation.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So when I first found the scanner, I got connected with a neurological doctor who had done a handful of interviews with Joe Dispenza on the Gaia Network. That's how I found him, and he was building a practice where he had the original like piece of hardware scanner, right? And you would sign up with him just to do inner voice remotely. And so that's all I originally had access to. But in the 3 weeks that I worked with him, I went from having panic attacks and hives all day, every day. Like we couldn't even get past that level of healing to dig deeper. But in 3 weeks, I no longer had a POTS diagnosis. I could stop my hives in the tracks, like before they would even turn red. I could see them coming and stop them. There were no more panic attacks, and we had leveled out my thyroid in a way that allowed me to come off of, I think, a 15-year prescription regimen that I'd been
Wow.
on in three
How many
weeks,
weeks?
just
How
using
many?
inner
Three
voice.
weeks. Wow, with inner voice.
Yeah,
Were you listening to inner voice twice a day, three times a day?
I was actually listening to it overnight. I would put
That's
my
what.
earbuds in when I went to sleep and let them
Yep,
play all night long.
love it. I
And
love
then I
it.
would and then I would use it on the spot if I felt my anxiety coming up, is how I was using it at the time. Yeah.
Nice,
And
nice.
and some of those improvements, I never, even though I stopped using the scanner after 3 weeks, and this was about 2 years ago, the POTS never came back. The panic
Yeah,
attacks never came back.
yeah.
But then I shifted to using an amp coil. So that was like the next energy healing tool I found access to. And as you know, it works in a very similar way. You just have the coil sitting on you instead of listening to your sounds. You still do a 10-second voice scan to figure out what you need. And I've been using that for about 2 years. We kept my son's immune system fully intact during 2 years of chemo.
Nice.
We got my daughter from a state of needing emergency surgery on her gallbladder back to almost normal levels in less than a year. She's back on a
Love it.
normal diet, no prescriptions. And then myself, we cleared my Hashimoto's. We found the root cause of my thyroid issues, and the Hashimoto's is
Wow.
gone, hasn't come back on any testing.
Wow.
And
And
so,
it's interesting because are we really surprised? No, but are we excited?
yes,
Absolutely. Yes.
yes,
Yeah. Because these are these wow moments that we're like, we know it works, so we know the science, we know that it works. So these are more of like excitement moments that it's like, yeah,
yes,
here's what it did. We knew what it
absolutely.
can do, right? What frequency energy
Yes,
medicine can do. Go ahead. I'm going to hush up because I
yeah.
want to hear more of your story.
Okay, so there were plenty of people in my family that either aren't close enough to come use the coil or thought it was a little too weird for them. But they are all very open to listening to sounds, right? So once I got access to the scanner again through you about a month ago, I just blasted my whole family and said, anyone that's interested, all I need is a 10-second voice file. I'm going to send you these lovely sounds that you only listen to, couple times a day for a few minutes. And every one of them sent me a voice file inside of 24 hours. I mean, people that I can't get to respond to Christmas emails for months, right? All replied right away. And so
Yeah.
what I'm finding really cool right now is, I'm scanning all my family members and kind of stacking these reports. And even though they all present with different issues, different needs, different personality traits, I'm finding these commonalities across my family, right? And so I'm starting to kind of build these puzzle pieces. I've got sticky notes and whiteboards all over my office now. So I'm learning with them, right? As I see these patterns, I go read more about it and just kind of charting these things. But as I get through kind of this first month or so, um, I really want to shift to being more efficient, because right now I'm like drinking from a fire hose and investigating all the things because I'm
Yeah.
seeing patterns. I'm excited. They're excited. Um, but the progress is already showing itself, right? And like I had mentioned previously, I thought I would just kind of keep it to myself for a month or so and get my footing, get my own personal process down for my own healing, figure out how to support my family, and then open it up from there. But everywhere I go, I'm just like called to talk about it.
Hmm.
And and I And I'm finding it's, the conversation is happening in very different ways. I was first nervous about, if I don't have the experience really talking about energy healing, how do you say it in a succinct way that gets people interested and not freaked out? And I think my guides are guiding me, right? Like I'm finding the words with the right people at the right time. And they're wanting to jump right in, but I have no business model. So right now I'm saying, I'll get you more information. Go check out YouTube. Here's some Solex things, right? And
Well,
just so
that's
that
what
if
this
they,
is all about too. Our one-on-ones, I'll help you with that.
awesome, very
Yeah.
cool.